Hello, this is Michaela of Studious Octopus, and I thought it was about time that I did another Empties video. So this is going to be the autumn-winter Empties for 2015. I always prefer doing them over sort of longer periods of time because I don't actually get through that much stuff that quickly. So I have it all organised into little sections stored in old glossy boxes, and I'm just going to go through it a section at a time. So first up is this set here, which is the sort of nice bath items. There's some things from Lush and a couple of other types of things, and I'll just go through them and talk briefly about each of them. I think I'll leave the things from Lush till last. Things that I bought myself or been bought. I had the Nivea Diamond Touch Shower Gel from my set from Christmas, which was nice enough, but I don't think I'm that fussed actually about the Nivea body washes. I'm not sure they really impressed me all that much. And that set also came with one of these like body polisher things, except this one is like completely useless. It doesn't feel like it does anything. I have a nice little used up snow fairy from Lush left over from Christmas. As usual, mine always seems to have like the glitter is always left at the bottom, and I don't really get like a glittery sort of body wash. It's just all the glitter is at the bottom. I think you're supposed to be able to shake them, but they're quite thick, so it never really works out. I had a Dead Sea Spa Magic Dead Sea bath salve. These are quite nice and quite affordable, these large sort of value bags that you can buy online, and I think you can buy them in some stores now. I think Boots even sell them, but they last for quite a while and they make your bath sort of a little extra relaxing. I think it's supposed to be that the salt makes the water that a little bit more buoyant, so it's relaxing for your muscles, and your skin sort of absorbs some of it as well. And then the only glossy box item I had is I used up all of the SAS Intimate Purifying Cleanser. So this was I think it was a deluxe sample, I'm not sure it was full size, of a intimate wash that was a wash for your lady parts. And like I think I pretty much said at the time, I'm not particularly convinced I need a special wash. I think you're fine just using a really gentle cleanser of any sort. And so I don't think I'd be getting any of the SAS stuff again. And then the stuff from Lush, over this period there was three nice things. One of them was a Rose Jam Bubble Room. That's those little sort of ball things that kind of look like cakes or like macaroons with sort of something sandwiched in the middle, and they're really lovely actually, and I love rose things, so that was very nice. And I had a Yognog bath bomb. That was one of the more Christmas specific items, and I love the Yognog smell. It's kind of a really lovely warm caramelly spicy smell, and I think I'm going to get some Yognog stuff next year as well when it comes out. It's now obviously quite a bit past Christmas. And then the last sort of Christmassy type item I had is I had one of those Magic Wand style bath bombs where they actually last for a while, or they bubble bars. Well, they last for a while and you can swirl them in the water and use them about 4 or 5 times. So I got the Christmas one, which came in sort of this cinnamon stick, and it had sort of cloves and star, and you stood it onto the top. For the most part, while I like the idea of the super concentrated bath bombs, which do work quite well, you can use them for about 4 or 5 instances, I think sort of the packaging and the delivery of this one was kind of more awkward, and it was worth it being pretty. The head bit fell off the cinnamon stick after the first use, so this became kind of pointless, and you just had to hold the bath bomb bit itself and swirl it in the water. And then I actually I don't know if it's just me, I don't like those little bits being in the bath with me. I think maybe that's just me, and I feel like I'm more comfortable with picking them out than them being in the water. So I don't think I'd get that one again. I actually thought it was a little awkward. But I do like the idea of the long-term sort of bubble bar bath bomb things where you use them 4 or 5 times. Those are really cool. So next up is the hair care items, which is this set here. And this is a more even mix of stuff I bought myself and glossy box stuff. So I'll go through the stuff that I bought myself. I went through 2 different sets of shampoos and conditioners. One, I think it was just using it up at the very beginning of winter, and that was the Aussie Miracle Moist shampoo and conditioner set, which is very nice. It is very nice shampoo and conditioner. And then the second set I went through is the Garnier Ultimate Blends Shampoo and Conditioner set, which is the Strength Restorer Honey Treasures. And this is the one which is royal jelly, honey and propolis for fragile hair prone to breakages. Because while my hair isn't particularly damaged, it is quite thin and quite fine, so I do find that I can lose hair just from brushing it. And I was hoping this would help. I'm not sure it really helped that much. It might have helped a little, but I don't think I've noticed a particularly dramatic reduction. The problem I think I've been feeling for a while now with trying sort of lots of different sets, and currently I'm trying out the Boots Botanics shampoo and conditioner set, is I don't think I really feel like I've found a shampoo and conditioner that really is for me yet, that really does anything special or actually helps my hair beyond just the general sort of cleaning. And both of those are really good for that, and neither of them made my scalp irritated, because my scalp can get dried out. But yeah, I don't think I've quite found my like holy grail hair products, as people say. And then hair products from Glossybox wise, there's quite a few different types. One of the actual oldest items I have here is the L'Oreal Mythic Hair Oil from ages and ages ago. It takes me quite a while to get through these things because I want to be very careful not to overuse them. Again, because my hair's quite thin, if I put too much stuff on it, it just looks gross really, really quickly. But I suppose you have that advantage that like you don't go through products so quickly, but it takes you ages to get to try new things. So I used all of this up, and I actually quite liked using hair oils. I think I found that because unlike if you're using like a spray leave-in conditioner where it feels nice, but I suspect it's mostly just coating your hair and giving it the feeling of being sort of smoothened and softened, I think oils actually are moisturising your hair. And so I haven't rebought this one, I have bought another hair oil. I think I'm currently using the OGX one or the Organics one, whatever it's called, and I'm giving that one a go. Because I'm not particularly bothered about being loyal one way or the other. The next Glossybox item was this very interesting Tresemme Renewal Hair and Scalp Tonic. And this was really interesting to get because it's a sort of not the usual type of product that I think people use these days. Hair tonic sounds very old-fashioned, but I actually really, really liked this. It was really good with its sort of pointed applicator, that you were putting a really, really light, sort of lightly moisturising solution onto your scalp and not getting it on your hair, and that worked really well and made my scalp feel really comfortable during the winter. So I actually think I'd really definitely repurchase this. I really liked it. And then the last two items are two different flavours of hair mask. One was the very rich Maria Neela colour hair mask, which while I don't have colour treated hair, so it wasn't suitable in that instance, it was still a really lovely, really rich, really good for your hair. I suspect especially if you have damaged hair masks. As I decided in the end from also having this hair mask, however, I think this is probably a little too rich for my quite thin, quite fine hair, but it's definitely a really standout hair mask. And then we also had the Nail Bay Protective Hair Mask, which was nice enough, and it was nice that it is a much lighter hair mask, which I think is suitable for my hair type more, and this is more affordable, which was nice as well. So that was the hair items. And the next section is skincare, and this is the big one, I think actually, yeah, the biggest section. It's this rather large container. There is a mix of facial skincare and body skincare and a bunch of stuff that I've gotten both from Glossybox and that I've bought myself that I've managed to use up, and I'm just going to split that into those two sections and we'll go through them. Body wise, I just have two rather large tubs that I've gone to. There is my absolute go-to Nivea Soft. This is the 300ml large one. This stuff is great, I think, as a really nice general purpose moisturizer. You can use it everywhere. You can even use it on your face, and I quite like that it's not very residuey. It does feel really lovely on your skin. It contains jojoba oil and vitamin E, which is lovely, and it's my favourite, yeah. And then next up is a body butter that I bought quite a while ago, and this is the really delicious Soap & Glory's Sugar Crush line. That will focus there. This is the larger tub, and I really like this for a couple of reasons. One is I don't like a lot of body butters that have that sort of really rich, oily, residue-y feel that you get left with. And the thing is, I'm sure part of that is probably that's actually leaving lots and lots of moisture on your skin, but I don't like how that feels, the sort of oiliness. The Body Shop body butters particularly, I don't like how oily they leave my skin feeling afterwards, and I don't think this has that problem. The other thing I really like about this one is the smell. It has a really lovely sugary, limey smell, which is kind of unusual, I think, in terms of for beauty products. So it's a really lovely, really sort of distinct smell, and I love it. And I've rebought both of these myself. And then the glossy box items that I managed to get through, there was the Quishi Anti-Cellulite Booster sort of moisturising lotion, which I didn't think particularly did that much in terms of making my skin any noticeably nicer, but it was a nice enough moisturiser, and I quite liked actually that it had a sort of a cooling effect and a feel when you put it on, so that was nice. There was this IDC Scented Garden Rose Body Moisturiser from that quite bad glossy box we had, and yes, this just feels sort of like a artificially thickened watery moisturiser that you'd get in a cheap gift set, so it wasn't particularly anything special. The two interesting items, I had quite an old SAS item that I still had hanging around, and this is the Perfect Me Intimate Perfect Skin Concentrate. Like the other SAS item, this was intended to be used on your intimate areas. I used this actually on my underarms. One of the things it's for is for soothing your skin when you've shaved, which it does. It sort of coats it and soothes it. But the other really interesting thing it did was it actually inhibits the regrowth of your hair, which is very interesting. I've never seen a type of product that does that before, and it did work, though fairly subtly. It's not like a ridiculously pronounced effect, and I'm not sure ultimately it's worth the extra money, but also the extra step of using it in your routine with everything else. And sometimes, you know, you just want to keep things simple. So it was very interesting, but I'm not sure the SAS things are for me, personally. And then the last item was just the Royal Apothic Cream Creme. This was a body lotion sample, and the Royal Apothic stuff is really lovely. It's all very rich and very nice smelling sort of products, though they're a little bit on the higher side of price point, but really nice for a treat. And then actual facial skincare wise, I have a couple of items I've purchased myself. There is the Simple Kind to Skin Moisturising Facial Wash and the Rich Face Moisturiser, which is great for using during the winter when you have dry skin. Both of these are great. They are good for sensitive skin. They are that sort of the skincare that I like, where it's really simple and fuss-free, but it does what it does really well. So I actually really like simple skincare for all that stuff. At the minute, I'm actually trying the Boots alternative to this. I think it's called the Simply line with aloe vera, something like that. I might have the name wrong, but it's definitely the Boots version of these. And so far they're alright, though perhaps not quite as nice. But they have very similar results. I might do a video about sort of the different skincare that I've tried. I don't know. I have an Yves Rocher Micellar Cleansing water. This, I think, is the last of the Yves Rocher items that I bought for myself after we got nail polishes in a box ages ago. And I think I talked about it at the time, where the problem with Yves Rocher, as lots of people online will possibly tell you, is that their products are really good, but the customer service you get, which is kind of rubbish, or it was at the time, they might have changed, made it feel so much to the point where you could have gotten a nicer item from someone else for less hassle, which is why I haven't gone back and purchased anything from them since. And another item that I went on to buy from a brand that we got in Glossybox, this was from Anatomicals. We got a spot stick from them ages ago, and I went on to try their eye gel, and their items are actually really lovely and actually fairly affordable and quite cute. The only problem I think with them is you can only buy them online, or I've only ever seen them where you can buy them online. So you have to kind of take a risk on trying something new if you're going to buy some. But so far, the 2 items that I've tried, both of them, I've been really happy with. And then all the Glossybox items, we've had quite a few skincare items that I've used up. We had the Neobay toner, which for the most part was a nice toner, except what I found is it started to smell really weird really quickly. It smelled kind of like really badly musty stale apples. I don't know if that was just me or my version or how I was storing it or whatever, which is a shame because for the most part I've liked their sort of ethos. They're all sort of natural and organic and really fuss-free and simple, but none of it seemed that particularly pricey. But yeah, not a very good experience with it smelling kind of awful. We had a couple of different sort of more high-end skincare samples, serums and treatments. What I tend to find with these items a lot of the time in Glossybox is they're not always super appropriate for my skin type. I think a lot of these are more anti-aging type skin products, and I don't particularly have those concerns yet, but they're always really, really lovely to try with these Glossybox items. A couple of items that I was really, really happy with. Quite a while ago we got this Etrabel aloe vera moisturizing gel, and I used this up all the way over through the summer and then into autumn, and I really, really liked this. What I really liked about it is that it was actually an aloe vera gel, because what I find a lot of the time with aloe vera gels is they're mostly alcohol, and I put them on my face and I can feel the alcohol evaporating off my skin and making my eyes hurt and being really uncomfortable. This stuff was really lovely and really great for sort of treating your skin, particularly if I had caught the sun when I'd been cycling. So I really like this, and I quite like the Etrabel stuff. We've had a few things from them. What was next? There was this little facial oil from L'Occitane, which was a very cute little sample size. What I particularly liked about this is it made me more convinced to try facial oils again. We'd had a facial oil sample from them from Manu Skincare, which are supposed to be great, but I think because we got it in just an open-topped container and you had to sort of divvy out how much oil you were putting on your face yourself, that lots of people had quite negative experiences with them. Whereas what I've found really makes the difference is having one of these. These dropper tools are really useful for giving you just the right amount of facial oil, because you actually do only want just a little of the stuff to treat your face. And I'm currently trying the Boots Botanics facial oil, which has the dropper in it as well and is really affordable and contains rose hips as well, which is really good for your skin. And the last item, which I included in skincare, but it possibly could have gone in the little makeup section, and this was the Naked Lips Superfruits, almost 100% organic and 100% natural lip balm. I really like this. It smells really good. The packaging actually still smells really, really good. And it contains lots of really good ingredients, but I also liked that it was quite affordable while being, you know, organic and natural, because I don't think it can be quite hard to pick organic and natural items that are actually affordable for you to be able to buy. And I actually liked how fuss-free it was. It's just simple packaging, simple product, really lively. I quite like this. I'll probably try and get a couple of other ones of these. And the next items are sort of makeup items and related items and things that kind of didn't have their own category. There's quite a mix of stuff here, and some of it is just stuff that just needed to be thrown out more than anything, especially in terms of makeup. I'm not always fantastic at throwing out makeup when I should, but I try to. So I'll just sort this out into a couple of different piles. Okay, so first up there's a pair of Isla Naturals false eyelashes, if that will focus. There we go. I actually wasn't that impressed with these, but I think it was mostly because it didn't particularly look like I was wearing anything on my eyes, so it felt a bit like, why the extra expense and the time that it takes to apply them, because they're a bit fiddly when they don't actually add that much. I think if I was going to wear them, which I don't very often, I would prefer that they are a bit more adding something, like a bit more dramatic. There are two perfume items. One is one that I bought myself. This is the Harajuku Lovers Music. They usually come with these lovely little collectible doll figures, but I keep those and just throw out the bottles. And these are really nice and really affordable and smell very nice. I have a couple of these. And the other was just a sample from Glossybox. I forget even what this is. It was just a sample perfume from Glossybox. None of the perfume samples I think from Glossybox have been particularly standoutish. They've all been pretty generic, sort of floral, musty, admittedly very wearable perfumes, but I don't think they've ever had any that have particularly stood out for me. I just have a empty eye makeup remover here. This is just the Boots Essentials Cucumber one. This stuff is actually really good. Though it can be a little weird that it's quite a thick gel, and like I always feel like you can get these in your eyes quite easily, the gel ones. I think I prefer the micellar cleansing water type eye makeup removers. There are a couple of nail items. Most of these are just that these nail polishes have dried up. There's two Barry M ones. There's a lovely metallic green and a black there. This is their quite old style now, I think, and they're just dried up. And a Rimmel Precious Stones Glitter, which is a bit disappointing because this nail polish is actually really, really pretty. But what I found with this is that it dried up super, super, super quick. It's like completely solid and gross. And again, it's not a particularly recent item, but I think I just kept hold of it to go like, why did it dry up so quickly? Very annoying. And the other thing is, this was a Glossybox item. They are the sort of peel off backing stick on nail type things. And I thought I might reuse them. I used the spares, but I've actually never particularly gotten around to doing it. Partially, nail stuff isn't something I'm really into, so I figured I'd just throw it out because it's just taking up room. So makeup wise, I have some items that I'm just getting rid of even though they're quite full. There's this Rimmel Match Perfection foundation, which I got quite a while ago. And at the time even, it wasn't really the right shade, but it's also now gotten quite old and it's not the same colour it was when I bought it anymore, so I don't actually reach for it anymore. So I might as well throw it out again and just stop letting it take up space. Another was just an MUA pressed powder, which I got, and it's completely the wrong shade, so I'm just getting rid of it. There is a Boots 17 Make Your Mark felt tip style eyeliner, which I unfortunately wasn't very happy with. The problem I always had with it is it can draw a fantastic, fantastic, lovely black line on the back of your hand, it feels like, which you do quite firmly, I suppose. But what I find when I'm trying to do it on my eyes, because I can't, or I don't want to, I suppose, press that firmly, that it comes out really, really wishy-washy actually on my eyes, and I haven't been particularly happy using it. And since I got an MUA one, which is a more traditional, it's a little pot with a sort of a tiny little flick end style applicator on a wand, and that's gone a lot better, I think, because it's a more liquid formula than this felt tip style, which just felt a little bit more awkward. So I'm not using it and I'm not reaching for it, and I've had it for a while, so I figured just throw it out and make room again. And then the last item that isn't empty but I'm still throwing out is this So Susan Flutter Mascara. We got this in a Glossybox quite a while ago and it's very pretty, and I like, for the most part, the idea of the So Susan items, which is that they contain ingredients that are good for you and they have all these sort of nice practices, but this stuff was just so thick and so gloopy and so wet, and it took ages to dry on your eyelashes that it's just felt so awkward to use, and I never reached for it, and I've had it quite a while at this point. And part of me was tempted to like leave it out on the table and let it dry out, so I felt like it was more usable and it would dry quicker on the lashes because I was just getting it all over the place. But it's like, that's also terribly, terribly unhygienic. And I have other mascaras that I use, so I'm not using this, so I figured I should just get rid of it. I didn't buy it. I think that is really the advantage of the glossy box thing, is if you get something that isn't so great, you didn't really pay full price for it, you can just throw it out and just sort of avoid that in the future. The thing is, I have the current mascara that I'm using now is one of their other mascaras. It's the Fairy Lashes Curl one, and that one is much, much better. It still takes a little while to dry, but it's nowhere near as bad as this. So I find that one much more usable. It's what I'm wearing today. But yeah, this is just I'm gonna have to get rid of it, which is a shame because it's really, really pretty other than that. And then I have some items, makeup items that I've actually all used up and that have just been taking up room in the drawer. One is this really, really old mascara, again a glossy box one. This was Mary Kay's Love Lash. I've had this for so long, I think it's actually dried shut. If I remember rightly, this mascara wasn't particularly anything special. It has a very straight, sort of average size, sort of silicone style wand. I don't particularly remember this mascara being amazing. It's also an American brand one, so it's slightly more awkward to get sort of hands on in the UK. The next one I was much, much more impressed by. This is the Essence Cosmetics Lash Princess Mascara, which comes in this very pretty ergonomic sort of container. But it also had a very interesting style wand. It's got this very big curve on one side, and it's more straight on the other, and it sort of has it's almost like going to a finer point on the end. So I quite like this wand in that you can use it for lots of different bits of your lashes, and using the big wide fanned bit to push up the main bit of your lashes, and at the tip is quite good for doing finer parts of it. And it was actually quite a nice mascara for the money. The Essence stuff is really affordable, so I definitely think actually I would rebuy this when I finish my current mascara. And the next few items, sorry, I should mention these are both glossy box items. And the next glossy box items, again, this is from ages and ages and ages ago, and I've just not thrown it out. And this is the Model Co. More Brows Brow Gel. This was actually my first brow gel that I ever tried, and it essentially made me really, really like brow gel. This is a really good gel. It's quite cool toned, sort of dark grey, but the important thing is that it has this teeny, 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 tiny brush, which really makes it quite easy to do your brows and makes it, you don't get too much on too quickly, which is the main thing to worry about with brow gel. So I really, really like this. I didn't go on to repurchase this simply because I felt for such a small amount of product, this is full size. It cost, I think, about £20, and I've gone on to buy a more affordable brow gel, but I do really, really like brow gels for the convenience of just being able to brush them on. It's really good. And the last item, which I wasn't sure again, do I put it in makeup, do I put it in skincare like with the lip balm, but I went for sort of makeup related items since I put the makeup remover in. And this is the Boots Tea Tree Pore Minimizer, which actually has quite mixed reviews because people complain a lot that it doesn't really massively reduce pores. And to be fair, it really, really doesn't massively reduce your visible pores. The reason I actually quite liked it and I kept it around and used every last bit of it is what it is good for is it reduces the redness on your face quite well, I think, because it's sort of a tea tree soothing, cooling effect. So I will use it on my nose, and while it would sort of make the pores less visible, not massively, it would also make the redness sort of die down and calm down, because I get, redness on my cheeks, redness on my nose, etc. So I have sort of mixed feelings about it, because yeah, it says it's a pore minimizer, and it doesn't really work amazingly as a pore minimizer, but it's nice and it does actually make your skin look better, just perhaps not in the right way. So I'm not sure I'd repurchase this, but I can see why people have mixed feelings about it. And the last section I'm going to talk about is just face masks. It has its own little section. The big one to mention that was off Glossybox was the Starskin Firming Biocellulose Second Skin Facial Mask, and these were really cool and interesting. It's a very expensive high-end, like £10 a go face mask. Hello Susie. And it felt really weird. It did actually feel like kind of a skin like sort of quality, but I guess as it said, they came with quite a large amount of liquid in the sachet. It was something like 30 milliliters and the equivalent of a whole bottle of face serum or something, and they were really nice. I think part of the problem with it is that it is at the price point where I would think it's a nice occasional treat, sure, but the problem with skincare is that for it to be worth it, is it's something you really have to use long term. So rebuying this wise, I'm not sure it's for me, but it was amazing and cool to get to try it. And then the other face masks here, which are face masks that I've actually bought myself, is this face foods set. And this is actually a Montagno Genuise line, but it's their set where you get 2 of these attached, and that's like considered a single unit, and then you get 5 of these and 5 flavours of each of these 2 sets. So it was something like 30 of these individual sachets, and the flavours were, these ones were the orange oil and vitamin C. And there was cucumber and apple here, there's a bunch of those. Some avocado oil and walnut. Some Dead Sea mineral mud masks. There we go. And the last one was this ginseng and jasmine thermal mask, if that will focus. There we go. So I really like that you bought this as a single sort of set. I bought mine on Amazon, and you got like a bajillion little face masks of quite a few different flavours, some exfoliating, some sort of gel type, some that were the thermal style with the ginseng one. Bleh. But it was really affordable, and I also quite like actually this size. It's smaller than the sort of normal large style Montagno Genuise ones that you see in the shops, and I always feel like they're a touch too much for a single application, but not really enough for 2. But these are perfect for 1 face set, and so they've just split sort of like the same amount or a slightly larger amount into 2. So you have more smaller portions to use up, which I really liked. I also quite liked that there were so many flavours of them, and they all didn't make my skin sort of go crazy and react, which I've had before with some face masks. These were all really good. So I definitely think I would rebuy this whole set of face masks, which is really nice because I like face masks. It's all of my containers that I've saved up of stuff over the autumn-winter period. It was lots of Glossybox items, some trying new shampoos out, and a lot of skincare, which makes sense really for the time of year that it was. And I suppose I'll see you again next time. Contents there, so there's quite a few nice looking sized packets. I'm going to have a read of this Culture Shock. Just pick up this boxing glove.
Don't do that again.
Terrible pun. I thought I'd